going to be going through the whole card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main fight. Here's my predictions, official breakdown of the entire card, starting off with Miktabik Oralbai versus Jeremiah Wells. A negative 1,000 favorite is 100% fitting for this caveman. I mean, look at him. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Miktabik Oralbai is going to slaughter Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells, he is 1-2 in his last fights. Last 3, not done great in the UFC. And Oralbai moving up to welterweight. He's on a tear. He's going back to Kyrgyzstan. He's slaughtering goats, throwing them around on his horse. He comes back, oh my God, and kills these opponents. It's insane. But I think he beats him wherever the fight goes. Jeremiah Wells doesn't have good takedown defense. Doesn't matter. Miktabik Oralbai has good chain wrestling. He out-wrestled Chris Curtis. He slaughtered Jack Hermanison. And I think he's going to win any way he possibly wants to. Maybe the KO because he did put on a boring performance in his last fight. He might be trying to redeem it. I could see Miktabik Oralbai by a brutal KO. That's what I predict. On the next fight, Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. It pains me to look at these cards. I know off topic, but it's really bad. It's bad. But Neil Magny, Haitian sensation. He's getting close to 50 fights. He might retire at 50. Dude, he's old. And he's an underdog. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that for Neil Magny. Ramiz Brahimaj got wrestle fucked in his last fight. And I still think he's wrestle fuckable. I really, really do. Neil Magny did that to Mike Mallet. Absolutely held him down and TKO'd him. And I think Ramiz is just absolutely able. That's going to happen. I think Neil Magny, he's not going to chin. It's gone. Non-existent. But against like Michael Morales and Carlos Prates, I do think Neil Magny is going to take out Ramiz Brahimaj by ground and pound TKO. Hopefully he can get a few takedowns. I think he can get a few takedowns. But if the fight goes to ground, I do think Neil Magny is dominant on the ground. And he's going to be like trying to get those takedowns over and over again. Ramiz is a slick striker, but he doesn't have the power that I would like to see to knock out Magny. And I think when you can't knock out Magny and you're like an up-and-comer, you're primed for getting fraud checked. I know he got fraud checked by Punahele Soriano, but it's going to happen again. Neil Magny by ground and pound TKO. It's a perfect thing to happen. Another super fight. Vicente Luque, 40 billion years old versus Tresean Gore, who's 7-4 in the UFC with a disgusting record. This is an insane fight. Movable object versus stoppable force. And I think Tresean Gore's going to win. In Tresean Gore's last fight, I really did expect him to get knocked out bad and get cut from the UFC. And I think a lot of people did. He was fighting Azamat Bekaev, who's like this super roided up Russian beast. And it makes sense. I was like, oh yeah, Tresean Gore's just going to die. And he almost did in the first round. He really did almost die in the first round. And he came back and guillotine subbed him. Guillotine Azamat Bekaev, who's an insane athlete. So I really do think Tresean Gore's good. He may have had some bad fights at the beginning of his career, but he's actually not horrible. And Marco Tulio had to do a lot to put him away as well. So I'm seeing Tresean Gore, but I don't know. Vicente Luque did KO Gastelum and then sub him. Knocked him down bad, then subbed him. And I know Kevin Gastelum's a fatty, and he's huge, and he's a weight miss merchant, but he's no joke. He could have been a UFC champion. In the correct timeline where he wasn't an idiot, he would be a UFC champion. It's absolutely insane. Vicente Luque is still good, but he's so old and chinnable. The Buckley fight is sad. I'm going to go with Tresean Gore by KO in the third. It's going to be a fun fight. It's going to be a really fun fight. Dante Johnson versus Eric McConaughey. Both Cody Brundage victims. People like to say Cody Brundage didn't beat him, and he lost and got KO'd. But we don't agree. We do not agree that Cody Brundage lost that fight. I'm going with Eric McConaughey. I know Dante Johnson's this freak athlete, 8-0, but he's sloppy. He is just relies on his muscles. I mean, he's huge, but his footwork is so sloppy, and he almost did lose to Brundage. Like, he almost lost worse than Eric McConaughey. It was up in the air against Brundage, and you're 8-0, dog. That's bad. And Eric McConaughey, he's slick. You know, he fought Bagnasaur Susarkayev and put up a pretty good fight. And we were like, hold on. Is Susarkayev ass? We were all thinking it when we were watching that fight. But I think Aaron McConaughey is actually just slick. He's only 11-4. It's not bad. I think he is going to give Dante Johnson his first loss because he's going to stay at range with his striking. He's going to stay back. And Dante Johnson's going to try to brute muscle Hulk into McConaughey. It's just not going to work. Sometimes you're just slicker. Sometimes you're just better. And he's going to be slick. And he's going to pick him apart on the outside. I don't know about a TKO, but I do think I see a decision by Eric McConaughey, like a 30-27 or maybe a 29-28. Dante Johnson knocking him down in the first with a brute strength. But they're getting picked apart with low kicks and Reggie strikes by a crafty guy. So Eric McConaughey by decision, 29-28. Charles Johnson versus Eduardo Chapolin. He's taking this fight on 2 days' notice against Charles Johnson. I know nothing about this guy. Not many do. I think he's a former champ in a different organization. I think he's like 18-2. Obviously, they can't update their website. Why would they be able to do that? And I know Charles Johnson's record is disgusting and ugly. And he got Suvolev stretched, and his ass was all over live TV for the entire world to see. And it's hard to come back from that. I really do believe it's really hard to come back from that. But this guy looks like a bitch. He looks small. And Charles Johnson's actually really good. And he's been KOing people like crazy. Good people. And he loses to other people. And it's the most insane thing. I'm like, dude, you're getting Suvolev stretched, but you knock out Joshua Van. What are we doing, dog? It's insane. Charles Johnson by KO. It's pretty darn simple. He got added to this card to save the card. You add Charles Johnson to save a card? Are we joking? That's who you pick to save a card? That's insane to me. Because, oh my God. And or another card saver, Joel Alvarez versus Chidi Njokuani. Joel Alvarez. I think Joel Alvarez is going to win this fight. Let's look at this fight. Ooh, that's ugly. That's really ugly. Joe Alvarez is really good. He had a bad loss against Amosov. But now we're saying Amosov's actually pretty good. He's actually really good. He's like, I wouldn't be shocked if he fought for the title within a year. Amosov's really good. No shame losing Joel Alvarez. Shini Njokuani. And I think Joel Alvarez has a vendetta. I think he's healthy. He took this fight on short notice. And that means I think he knows that he can beat Chidi by like brutal finish. I think he knows he's going to be like, I can first round finish this guy. That's because he doesn't take fights on short notice. I can take this on short notice. Yeah, I can finish Chidi Njokuani. Because he's not like fighting for a contract like the guy, Eduardo Chapolin. Like, he's not getting into the UFC with this fight. He has been in the UFC, and he's like, hey, I can sub. I think he's going to sub him with a Darce choke. I think Chidi Njokuani is very subbable, very beatable. And I think Joel Alvarez is going to sub him in the first. And it's just like vibes, man. Why would Joel take this fight if he knew he couldn't beat him? I don't know. Like, I really do think Joel Alvarez is going to win by brutal finish. On the next one, Edson Barbosa. There's so many old-ass guys in this card. Versus Estevan Ribovics. Both coming on losses to Jalen Turner and to Gamrot. So they both coming off losses to good opponents. And both got absolutely dominated. There was no getting caught. They both got dominated. Dominated by Jalen Turner. Dominated by Gamrot. But here's the difference. Barbosa got dominated by striking. Ribovics got dominated by grappling. And they're not grappling in this fight. There will be no grappling within this fight. And Estevan Ribovics is ready to strike. He cannot wait to strike with Edson Barbosa. But he's lost to Haqparast. That's not good. But I do think he's a good fighter. And he's fighting an old-ass guy. And he's going to win by a brutal KO because Edson Barbosa is like 43. Like, what are you doing? Also, main card, by the way. That's how about this is on the main card. Oh, my God. Oh my god, it's terrible. On the next one, Mansoor Abdul Malik versus Dustin Stolfus. Both people coming off losses. Again, double loss, double loss. It's really frustrating. Mansoor Abdul Malik is gonna kill him. I don't think Malik is any good. Like, he's not good. Like, he'll never be top 15. He definitely has power, and he's been fed good opponents, bad opponents, and that's what's gonna happen again. He's being given Dustin Stolfus, who's 16-8. That's a bad opponent. You're getting a lucky break. Why? I have no clue. But you're gonna knock him out, or, dude, losing to Yusri Belgori. That's not a fraud check. I don't believe that's a fraud check. Mansoor Abdul Malik has not been fraud checked yet. You lose to Dustin Stolfus, and you're fraud checked, and you're ass, and you're terrible, and that really could happen. Because he's not a slouch. He's not like the worst person ever. That's the thing. He's not losing. He's beating the same competition as Abdul Malik. Maybe even slightly better. So I'm looking at this fight. It's like these odds are a little skewed. This could be prime for a fraud check, but probably not. Dustin Stolfus lost to Kelvin Gastelum. He's lost to a bunch of people. Malik is not losing to a bunch of people, and he's got that bounce back. This is his make or break moment. Can he bounce back and win again, or is he going to lose? I do think he's going to bounce back and win. I do believe this is going to be a KO win for Mansoor against Dustin Stolfus, but if he gets fraud checked, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked because if he goes past the first round, I don't know what's going to happen. He had a weird win over Brundage. A lot of Brundage victims on this card, actually. Which is again, that was weird. You were getting pieced up by Cody Brundage. You might lose it to Dustin Stolfus. I'd watch this fight, and I'd watch it closely. And also, this is a feature fight. Jalen Turner versus Kaue Fernandez. I've been waiting a long time to see Kaue Fernandez fight. You know, he fought Harry Hardwick, and it was a really funny fight. And I liked him. I really did like him. But he hasn't fought in so long. He took a long time off, and he's fighting Jalen Turner at lightweight. That's scary to me. These odds make sense to me. They're both coming off wins. One to Edson Barbosa, but one to Harry Hardwick. Both low-level wins. But Jalen Turner, here's my thing. I know he's a favorite. I know Kaue Fernandez is hyped. But Jalen Turner literally retired because he was so ass. You can't tell me he's going to win this fight. Of course he beat a 43-year-old man. I think Kaue Fernandez is going to pick him apart and not get knocked out. I know Jalen Turner's a 6'3" lightweight. Some bullshit like that. Yeah, 6'3" lightweight. Dude, you're going to be drained horribly. You're going to be fighting this guy. He's got some brutal leg kicks. You know, when he gets those legs, man, you're done. And that's actually true with Kaue. And Jalen's got some long-ass bony legs. And I think Conway can chew up his legs and then maybe catch him with an overhand right. I do believe that feinting the leg kick, pull an Ayman Zahabi-ass performance, best leg kicker ever, then throw an overhand right in the pocket. Dude, I can see that happening. But Jalen Turner retired because he was terrible. Makes sense. Look at his record. It's really bad. That's rough. He lost to Moicano. Very losable fight for Jalen Turner. I'm going to go with Kaue Fernandez by a third round KO. Mackenzie Dern versus Jillian Robertson. I do like this fight a lot. They're both very fun fighters, and it's going to be a fun fight. In the media leading up, we're just going to see a lot of Mackenzie Dern, and we know this. All the pressers, all the face-offs, downward angles of Mackenzie Dern, because that's what the UFC likes to do. Of course, that's what we're going to see. Mackenzie Dern versus Jillian Robertson. They both got good grappling, but here's my thing. Mackenzie Dern is a champion for a reason. Her record's not nearly as ugly as Jillian Robertson's. And I think there's a huge striking difference that's going to happen over these 5 rounds that Jillian Robertson cannot recover. I think she's got a great ground game, Jillian Robertson, and she's really good jiu-jitsu. But I do think there's a striking differential that, hey, the grappling's going to cancel out. We know that happens in all grappling fights. Grappling's going to cancel out, and you have to resort to striking. And Mackenzie Dern's got the DDP brute striking. That's what she did to Janaroba. She just pressured strike, because some of these girls, can't handle the pressure and they break so easy. And Mackenzie Dern is really good at breaking these girls with her striking. She throws like 5 in a row in a combo. She throws a lot of combos, maybe not powerful, but they break other girls. And I just think Jillian Robertson, she's breakable. And I think maybe in the 4th round, after all these grappling scrambles, maybe she holds Mackenzie Dern down for 5 minutes in total going into the 4th round. But going in that 4th round, she's going to be exhausted, and she's going to be getting beat up by Dern. And like late 4th round TKO, I think, from Mackenzie Dern. She's going to beat her up bad, like bloody. I do think it's going to be a violent women's fight. A lot of kicks, too. I think Jillian Robertson's going to be in for a rough night. But I think she will have some success on the ground. But once she can't get it off anymore, she's too tired for the takedowns, it's going to be Mackenzie world. It's going to be Dern's world, and you're just going to be living in it. And you're going to get drowned. But yeah, Mackenzie Dern, late 4th round TKO by ground and pound, or just like a standing TKO by volume. Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry. These odds are crazy, by the way. I think it is a 50-50 fight going in this. Negative 360 is wild. I'm going to be completely honest. And a negative plus 280 is also wild. That's good. That's good money on Ian Garry. I'm not going to tell you to bet, but that is good money on Ian Garry. I think Islam's winning this fight. I keep thinking Ian Garry's going to win. I do think like Ian Garry's going to like dance around, get away, not get the takedowns, not let him be the takedowns or anything like that. I was watching back these fights because Bilal couldn't take down Ian Garry. All of Bilal's takedown entries were terrible. I literally looked at all. They were all so bad. And I was like, of course he's defending these takedowns. Bilal doesn't want to take him down. He wants to feint the takedown to strike. They were all ass takedown attempts. Makhachev's going to shoot low, and he's going to figure out a way to take him down. Ian Garry's subbable, man. He's very subbable. You know, he's in danger against Shavkat, and I really do think Ian's long, lengthy body leaves him open for some gross-ass things. Like, it's not helpful for him, and it won't be super helpful. I know he's 6'3", and he just sucks dick, man. And, like, not, like, bad. He's a really good fighter, but his son was crying because Islam didn't want to take a picture with him. You're telling me your son's favorite fighter is the guy that you're fighting? Bro. That makes me sad. And it's like, you bring that home with you every day. He's bringing that home with you. Like, oh, your son loves that guy more than you. Oh, your son calls you Ian and not dad. Oh, your wife's husband lives with you. You know, he brings this home every single day. After he gets done training, he brings this home. He's like, yeah, this is good. No, I know it degrades him. I think he's going to be fighting for a world championship. He brought that home every day. Mentally, he will not be there. Because Islam, he goes home and he eats his dinner. He doesn't even look at his kids. Goes to bed, goes back to training. Nothing. This guy doesn't give a fuck. His brain is empty. And I think that's perfect. You got to be stupid to be a fighter. I think he knows he has to get in there. And I do not want Ian to be, I cannot see Ian Garry with a championship around his belt. In my brain, in my mind's eye, I can't see it. It's like a vision thing. It's like you can see Islam with it, but you can't see Ian. It's impossible. I think Islam's going to keep taking him down, hold him down, and sub him in the 5th because I think Islam's tired of being boring. And I think it's going to be a 5th round sub just by pressure. I know Ian wants to be on the back foot. He wants to be a little fairy and like stay on the round and like fly around and blah, blah, blah. But I think Islam's going to pressure and get those takedowns, hold him against the fence, and then take the 2 legs, put it between his legs, and eventually just get to a Darce because these Darces are nasty. But let me know what you guys think about all of this. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the fights. Let me